the sound of a civilization and a spiritual bridge. Shona music is a complete way of life. It connects the living to their ancestors, vadzimu or family spirits, and to powerful guardian spirits, Mhondoro or makombwe, like ancient chiefs or tribal protectors. These spirits guide daily life. They help with rain for crops, healing sickness, solving family fights, making decisions for the community, or even protecting against enemies or bad weather. The music acts like a telephone to the spirits. Certain rhythms, songs, and instruments have stayed almost the same for hundreds of years, so the ancestors recognize the sound and come when called. Without the right frequency or familiar patterns, the spirits might not respond. This is why Shona music feels timeless. It's designed to speak directly to the spiritual realm. The core belief is that the living and the dead are not separate. Ancestors are always watching, loving, and helping if properly honored. Music opens the door for this communication, especially during all-night ceremonies called Bira or Mbira.
I see the path ahead. There are challenges, but if you stay united.
In a Bira, families gather to sing, dance, play Mbira, shake hosho rattles, beat drums, and sometimes welcome a spirit into a medium, svikiro or homwe. The medium gets possessed and speaks as the ancestor, giving advice, prophecies, blessings, or warnings. This spiritual role makes Shona music unique. It's not just art, it's religion, history book, therapy, and community glue all in one. Chapter 2. Before the Mbira, prehistoric and ancient sounds of Great Zimbabwe. Music existed long before the Mbira became the main instrument. In prehistoric times, linked to ancient rock art in places like Matobo Hills or near Harare, early Shona ancestors used simple tools to make sound. These sounds filled everyday life, hunting, herding, rituals, and early kingdoms. Key ancient instruments included huamanda, kudu horn trumpet, a large side-blown horn made from a kudu antelope horn. It produces a deep, loud call like a trumpet blast. It was used as a signaling device for war, announcing chiefs, calling people to gatherings, or in ceremonies to honor leaders. In kingdoms like Great Zimbabwe, 1100 to 1450 AD, Mutapa, and Rozwi, huamanda announced royal events or rallied warriors. It's one of the biggest traditional wind instruments in Zimbabwe and still used today for heraldry, official calls. Chipendani, mouth bow or stick zither, a one-stringed bow, sometimes a stick with a string, held in the mouth. The player plucks the string and uses their mouth and throat as a resonator to create melodic overtones and harmonics. It was often played alone by young boys herding cattle, during long walks, or for personal reflection and courtship. The chipendani is now rare and facing extinction, but experts believe it helped shape the harmonic system, interlocking patterns and overtones that later became central to Mbira music. Some researchers call it the origin of Shona Mbira tuning ideas. In ancient kingdoms like Great Zimbabwe, famous for massive stone walls, gold trade, and powerful rulers, music was part of royal and daily life. It played in ceremonies to install new chiefs, remember the dead, celebrate harvests, prepare for war, protect the land, and tell stories. Songs kept history alive. No written books were needed because elders taught through singing, repeating important events, laws, morals, family lineages, and lessons generation after generation. Chapter 3. Tracing the migration from Guruuswa and shared sonic roots. Shona oral traditions say their ancestors came from Guruuswa, place of tall grass or long grass, a legendary homeland with grassy plains, likely north of the Zambezi River in the Great Lakes region, around modern Tanzania, Congo Basin, or East Central Africa. This was part of the huge Bantu migrations that started over 2,000 years ago. Groups moved south slowly, carrying ironworking, farming, cattle herding, language roots, and cultural practices. These Proto-Shona people brought specific musical ideas, scales, rhythms, and spiritual beliefs about ancestors. This sonic DNA shows in similarities with related groups. Kalanga, Western Zimbabwe, Botswana, share language dialects, ancestor respect, and some rhythmic patterns. Venda, northern South Africa, have close ties in stone building like Great Zimbabwe styles, language and instruments. Some Venda traditions trace back to Shona or Kalanga migrations across the Limpopo River. Ancient hymns map this journey. Songs dedicated to Tovera or Thobela, a founding ancestor from Guru Uswa, are among the oldest orally passed down pieces.
Tovera mudzimu dzoka.
Lyrics like calls to Tovera, Mudzimu Dzoka, Tovera, ancestor, return, ask the spirit to come back and guide. These hymns carry clues about migration paths, spiritual continuity, and how music helped people remember their origin during long travels. Even today, they remind Shona people of their shared roots and enduring identity. Chapter 4. The evolution of the Shona scale. Shona music uses a special heptatonic, 7-note scale, different from the common 5-note, pentatonic scales in much of Africa, or the Western major-minor scales. This scale divides the octave into 7 equally steps, sometimes called equiheptatonic, but the exact intervals vary slightly between tunings. Common Mbira tunings include Nyamaropa, most standard, similar to a Western major scale, but with the 7th note lowered, flattened, giving a dreamy, unresolved feel. Dambatsoko, closer to a full major scale with a raised 7th. Gandanga, like a Phrygian mode, natural minor with lowered 2nd, darker and intense. The scale creates rich, interlocking harmonies. When 2 Mbira players, one kushaura lead, one kutsinira interweaving, notes overlap to produce extra overtones and depth. No chords needed like in Western music. This system has been preserved orally for centuries, passed from teacher to student without written notes. Colonial rulers tried to change it or suppress it, but the spiritual importance kept it alive. Changing the tuning too much could break the sacred connection. Chapter 5. Sacred Music and the Spirit World. Deeper details. The Bira is the heart of Shona spirituality. It lasts all night, sometimes days. Families prepare food, beer from millet or sorghum, and invite a Mbira player or group. The Mbira's cyclic melodies, combined with hosho rattles and goma drums, build energy. Singing in call and response, leader calls, group answers, adds power. Songs act like spiritual keys. One famous example is Nehema Sasa, starting of temporary shelter. It's ancient and important, used to welcome spirits, celebrate new beginnings, call protection, linked to building war shelters, and help possession during Bira. Playing it correctly invites powerful spirits. Chaminuka is a legendary Mhondoro spirit, guardian of the land. Through mediums like Nehanda, famous in history, or Pasipamire, 1800s, Chaminuka was a prophet, rainmaker, healer, and Bira master. Legends say his Mbira created a sonic shield. Drumming and singing built spiritual protection during wars or dangers. Songs like Chaminuka and Dimambo, Chaminuka is the king, honor him as a father-like figure in spiritual culture. His Mbira at sacred spots gave strength and predicted events like colonization. Njuzu, water spirits, often called mermaids or marine spirits, live in deep pools, rivers or waterfalls. Some ancient songs were learned from them. People heard mysterious melodies rising from the water. Njuzu teach rhythms and tunes in dreams or visions, linking music to nature's timeless power. This shows how Shona music draws from the environment and spirit world. The Mbira player is often guided by a shave or spirit talent. The music flows through them, not just from skill. Chapter 6. Traditional Shona instruments, how they work together. Mbira dzevadzimu, wooden board with 20+ metal keys in a gourd resonator.
Deze, plucked with thumbs or fingers for complex hypnotic layers. Hosho, gourds with seeds for steady pulse. Ngoma, drums for deep energy and dance. Marimba, wooden xylophone for bright tunes. Huamanda, horn calls. Chipendani, ancient personal bow for quiet melodies. In performance, Mbira leads, Hosho times, drums drive, voices respond. Colonial times, modern rise, diaspora, and today, 2020s to 2026. Colonizers, late 1800s to 1970s, called it pagan and tried to stop it, but Shona adapted, mixing Bira patterns with guitars in Chimurenga, Thomas Mapfumvo's struggle music. Liberation War songs inspired freedom. After 1980, artists like Oliver Mtukudzi, Tuku style, Stella Chiweshe, female Mbira pioneer, and Ja Praiser, modern fusions, kept it alive. Diaspora groups teach abroad. Mbira got UNESCO Intangible Humanities Heritage status in 2020, shared with Malawi's Sansi. In 2025 to 2026, Ja Praiser performs Mbira-infused hits live at Elegant Ensemble Bira Mbira Festival, blending tradition with Afrobeats and pop. Groups like Mbira Bururu tour worldwide. Challenges like urbanization exist, but revival grows. More women play, festivals expand, archives preserve old recordings. Conclusion: the music that carries the ancestors forever. Shona music has survived migrations from Guruswa, prehistoric bows, Great Zimbabwe's stones, Chaminuka's shields, Njuzu's waters, colonial bans, wars, and modern changes. The Mbira's rippling knots still call ancestors, heal broken hearts, unite families, and protect the land. It connects ancient glory to today's struggles and tomorrow's hope. In a village Bira under stars, a city concert, diaspora gathering, or online stream, the sound continues. One repeating cycle, one generation passing the knowledge, one spiritual bridge unbroken. This is the power and beauty of Shona music. It never dies. It carries the voices of the ancestors forward, forever alive.
Before I leave you, let me quickly go through 5 frequently asked questions about Shona music history and cultural legacy, based on common inquiries from people exploring this topic. 1. What is the Mbira, and why is it so important in Shona culture? The Mbira, also called Mbira dzevadzimu, meaning Mbira of the ancestors, is a traditional thumb piano made from a wooden board with metal keys, often placed in a large gourd or deze to make the sound louder and deeper. Shona people have played it for over 1,000 years. It's not just an instrument, it's seen as the voice of the ancestors. Its gentle, repeating, rippling melodies create a spiritual frequency that calls spirits during ceremonies. The Mbira helps the living connect to their ancestors, vadzimu, who guide, protect, heal, and advise on life issues like rain, health, or family problems. Without the right Mbira patterns and songs, many believe the ancestors won't recognize or respond to the call. 2. What happens during a Bira ceremony, and how does music play a role? A Bira or Mapira is an all-night spiritual ceremony where Shona families gather to honor and communicate with ancestors. It usually happens in a rural home or sacred space with food, traditional beer, singing, dancing, and music. The main goal is to invite an ancestor spirit to possess a medium, a svikiro or homwe, who then speaks as the spirit, giving advice, healing, prophecies, or solving community issues. Music is the key bridge. Mbira players perform continuous cycles of songs like Nhema Masasa, accompanied by Hosho rattles, Ngoma drums, and call and response singing. These unchanging rhythms and melodies put the medium into a trance and keep the energy high all night.
Each spirit has favorite songs, so the right music is crucial to call them successfully. 3. How old is Shona music and where did it come from? Shona music traditions go back over 1,000 years with roots in ancient kingdoms like Great Zimbabwe, 1100 to 1450 AD, Mutapa and Rosvi. Some elements are even older, linked to prehistoric sounds like the Chipendani mouthbow and Huamanda horn, and Bantu migrations from Guruswa, a place of tall grass, a legendary homeland north of the Zambezi River, likely in East-Central Africa. During these migrations, over 2,000 years ago, early Shona ancestors carried scales, rhythms, and spiritual ideas south. This sonic DNA shows in similarities with related groups like the Kalanga and Venda. Oral songs like ancient hymns to Tovera, a founding ancestor, map this journey and keep the connection to origins alive. 4. How did Shona music change during colonial times and the liberation struggle? During British colonial rule, when the land was called Rhodesia, missionaries and authorities often saw ancestor-based music as pagan or wrong, so they discouraged or limited it in churches and schools. Many Shona people moved to cities where musicians mixed traditional Mbira patterns with guitars and Western styles to keep the culture alive. In the 1960s-70s, during the Second Chimurenga Liberation War for Independence, music became a tool of resistance. Thomas Mapfumu created Chimurenga music, struggle music, using electric guitars to mimic Mbira sounds, singing in Shona about injustice, pride, and freedom, often with coded lyrics to avoid censorship. Artists like Olivam Tukudzi blended traditions with jazz and pop, inspiring hope and unity. After independence in 1980, this helped rebuild cultural pride. 5. Is Shona music still alive today, and how has it spread globally? Yes, Shona music is very much alive and evolving. In the 2020s, including 2026, young artists fuse Mbira with Afro jazz, Afro beats, Zim dancehall, hip-hop, gospel, and pop. Think Ja Prizer blending traditional sounds into modern hits, or others like Nyasha David and Winky D topping charts with Shona language songs. There's a big revival, more women play Mbira, festivals grow, and groups like Mbira Bururu perform worldwide. Mbira was added to UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage list in 2020, shared with Malawi's Sansi, helping protect it. In the diaspora, Zimbabweans abroad run schools, workshops, and archives like mbira.org with thousands of recordings. Global interest continues with events, streams, and even Grammy nods for Zimbabwean music, showing the legacy endures. These FAQs address the most common curiosities from viewers interested in Mbira, Bira, history, spirituality, and modern fusions. If the rippling notes of the Mbira and the voices of our ancestors moved you today, help keep this legacy alive. Hit that like button if you felt the connection, subscribe for more deep dives into African heritage, Shona stories, and traditional music revivals, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Drop a comment below. What's your favorite Shona song or instrument, or how has this music touched your life? Share this video with someone who needs to hear the ancestors' call. Let's spread the sound, one generation at a time. Thank you for watching, and until next time, cheers!